Now, your abusive, toxic, narcissistic family members may not actually kill you, but your hope in the relationship probably already is. That's right. Hope kills in toxic relationships, and it kills you slowly and brutally. This makes this message one of the most important messages that you can hear because it just might save your life. My name is Kevin, and this is The Royal We. Now, before I continue with this important message, I want to let you know that I'm here to support you. Down in the description box below this video, you'll find access for one-on-one appointments with me. I do take telephone calls as well as video calls, FaceTime, Zoom, WhatsApp. It's all available for you. Also, I have a coaching program where I coach every day, Monday through Friday. It's live with questions and answers. So if you'd like to have that one-on-one work with me and a growing community every day, head on down to the description box after this message and get registered for the coaching program. Now, when I get asked through one-on-one phone calls about how to word a letter or a social media post or a text to narcissistic family members or abusive people in one's life, asking how the best way is to let them know that they want to go limited contact. They want to back out of the relationship. Mind you, they've been trying to get this message out for the past 40 years of their life, basically. I usually respond with a couple of things. There's two things to consider. Number one, if you are trying to write a letter or tell people, family members, friends, siblings, whomever is abusive towards you, if you're trying to write a letter and figure out the right way to tell them you're trying to stay away from them, well, there is no right way. It doesn't matter how you write it. Their response is going to be abusive no matter what you do because they're abusive people. Doesn't matter how you slap it, flip it, or twist your words around. You've been trying to write that same story and same message for eons now, and it's always the same. They point at you, and they tell you that you're a problem, that you're crazy, and that you should be institutionalized, and you need therapy, and you're the problem, on and on and on, right? So it does not matter. Remember, you're dealing with abusive people. Nothing that you say, no matter how you word it, will ever get a different response. But I dig deeper. And I say, why do you want to write them? Why are you trying to let them know that you want minimal contact? What's really beneath wanting that? Because the reality is that you don't want minimal contact. You don't even want no contact. That's not the reason you're writing. The reason you're writing is because there is a small seed of hope about yay big somewhere deep inside of you that's hanging on to some false idea that they can be different. How do we know this? Well, let's take, for instance, you come across in your pathway one day, some kind of a serial psychopathic stalker starts following you around, making all kinds of weird threats. Are you going to start figuring out how to write him or her letters to ask for more space? Please? Okay, well, this one didn't work. Well, let me write it this way. Is that no? You're going to run and you're going to hide. And if you even catch a glimpse of this person, you're going to contact the authorities. You're not going to mess around when you really want to create distance. When you really want to create distance, you will create distance. And you won't be worrying about, well, how to word a letter. That's how we know that it's not based on you wanting to get away. It's not based on you wanting to go no contact. The real reason that you continue to try to write these letters, ask different ways, get advice on how to word things to your abusive mom, dad, brother, sister, whomever, is because you're still hanging on to hope that one day they may come around and treat you the way you've always wanted to be treated when they cannot. Now, the reason it's important to understand that it's hope is because it's this hope that is actually killing you. That's right. Hope kills in toxic relationships. Where do I get this from? Well, in the ancient literature of the Bible, it says this, that hope deferred makes the heart sick. What's hope deferred? It's hope delayed, hoping in something that's not happening. And the longer you are hoping for something that doesn't happen, the sicker you become. You would be shocked and surprised at the amount of people that I've talked to who have abusive, narcissistic family members and siblings who present with physical ailments of all different kinds. POTS syndrome. Look it up if you haven't heard about it. Tachycardia. High levels of stress, anxiety, autoimmune disorders. All from nonstop involvement with toxic relationship dynamics, either family dynamics or romantic dynamics or marriage. And what's really causing these ailments? What's really causing these sicknesses? What's really causing this disease? Hope deferred. The Bible also says, above all things, guard your heart, because out of your heart is what flows everything you do in life. Obviously, for those of you who like to talk specifically, when it says guard your heart, it's not talking about the thing that's beating in your chest. It's talking about the heart of man, the will, your livelihood, right? Mankind, the heart of mankind, the heart of humanity. That is what's being sickened. That's what's being diseased. And it manifests in literal physical sicknesses. You're dying. Your body's had enough of the toxic relationship. But watch this. It's not the toxic people and the family members and the narcissistic abusive father and the abusive mother and the abusive people, the spouse that's doing it. It's the hope. It's sitting around in hope, hoping that it's going to change while your anxiety and your stress levels are soaring. The hope that you have is not working. It's killing you. If there's ever been a time to listen to that scripture, hope deferred makes the heart sick. Today is the day. And you've got to move. Don't worry about how a letter sounds to narcissistic people you're trying to get away from. Just get away from them because it's killing you. You're dying. You're getting physical sicknesses. A lot of people would say, listen, cutting people off because they're toxic, that's black and white thinking, Kevin. Well, no, duh. I know that there's a lot of modern counselors, therapists, and even Christianese. Listen, don't go to Christian churches for help with narcissistic abuse. Don't go to Christian counselors because they believe in that hold on to hope. They're going to tell you, stay in there. Don't get into black and white thinking. They may be toxic now, but your love will transform them. Wrong. Your love will be wasted. Your hope will be deferred, and you will become sick. You will develop physical ailments, and you will die. Because this is the day and age where the Lord is separating people. Darkness and light, black and white, good and evil. And if you're out of place, you're going to even start to develop physical symptoms. You can't stay in a toxic relationship hoping that it's going to change any more than you can sit in a toxic tub full of chemical waste. What happens if you're sitting in a toxic tub full of chemical waste? Well, the chemicals, the toxic chemicals, are going to erode your skin. It's going to slowly kill you. It's going to eat you alive, right? How long are you going to sit in a toxic tub of wasteful chemicals saying, wow, well, I hope that this toxic waste of chemicals will slowly start to change into nourishing water. It's not going to happen. If you want to save your life, you have to get out of the toxic waste and find healing. The same is now true with your toxic family, your toxic marriage, depending on what's going on. If you're getting physically sick as a result of the relationship, it's eating you alive. Typically, when we talk about red flags of toxic relationships, it starts with the feelings. You get those dark feelings that something's wrong in the relationship. But no, I'll pass it on. I've learned to have hope. I'm going to hope that they can change. And so you stay in there longer. The next stage is anxiety and stress. Well, maybe I'm the problem. I'll try to do things to reduce my anxiety and stress, like go for walks or whatever, while you stay in the toxic relationship. The final stage is the physical sicknesses. It's almost as if your higher power from above, God, is telling you it's time to go. You missed the early red flags that you don't belong in that relationship. I don't care if it's your mom or your dad. Listen, God doesn't care if it's your mommy and your daddy. In the ancient literature of the Bible, God had pulled many people away from their families of origin, their mommies and their daddies. Abraham, to begin with, was called out away from his mommy and daddy. Abraham, I could use you, but you've got to leave your mommy and your daddy. In fact, you got to leave that whole town. Joseph, young Joseph, didn't voluntarily leave, but God removed him from his nasty narcissistic brothers who were highly abusive, jealous. And his brothers did try to kill him. They thought about it. They talked about it while Joseph was listening. It doesn't matter if it's your family. And Jesus was out there teaching with his disciples, and he said, who is my mother? Who are my brothers? He pointed to his disciples and he said, this is my family, not those people. Those people aren't in this room with me. My disciples are here with me. This is my family. Listen, it doesn't matter if it's your family. Don't let any church or any counselor or anybody tell you that it's black and white thinking and that your family deserves some hope and you've got to continue loving them. Hope deferred, it makes the heart sick, which in turn makes your body sick. And you're dying. You're not even able to live your life to its fullest. Many of you have already gave up having your own families, perhaps having your own marriage, perhaps having your own children, perhaps living the career and the life you want to live. Why? Because you've been hanging on to hope with a family that has been stepping on you since you were a child. Sadly. But you still hope based on all these false messages that even come from the church. All you've been doing is sitting in a toxic tub of waste while it's been eating you alive. It's time to get out. It's time to get out. Remember, hope deferred makes the heart sick. When your heart becomes sick in that way, your body becomes sick. It's not the narcissistically abusive people who are killing you. It's the hope you have in that relationship that's killing you. Get rid of the hope. Ignore the hope. Get out of the relationship as fast as you possibly can. Don't worry about how to write a letter about it. Just go. Like you're escaping a psychopath. As I said before, I know this is a difficult message, which is why I'm here to support you. Down in the description box, you'll find access for one-on-one appointments with me. In addition, I do have a coaching program where I coach every day, Monday through Friday. It's live and in person. I encourage you to get enrolled in that coaching program. So head on down there and get registered, and I'd love to spend that daily time with you. I'll be back with more videos for you right here on The Royal We.